That's right. Every superhero needs theme music. In the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful, I bear witness there is no God but Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad is his messenger. Welcome to another edition of Jock Brothers Presents Let Us Make Man. I am your host and moderator, Brother Jackie Muhammad, and we want to welcome you all to 2023. This is our first show of the year, and we thank you for joining us. We thank you, our loyal watchers and listeners and followers, for supporting us throughout the year. We thank you for your support this year. We have a wonderful show for you today. For those of you who are setting your New Year's resolution, we hope that we can help you in that act if it has anything to do with eating to live. So with that, I would like to introduce and present to you my co-host, brothers in this work, brothers in this mission, dedicated brothers. I'd like to first start with my brother from New York.
Come on.
He's fired up, ready to go. He's ready for the new year. He's one that would say, "Yeah, Lord, I'm gonna eat one meal a day this year, bro. I'm telling you, it's on my mama." So I want you to receive our brother Ahmed B.R. Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, soldier.
Rahim, the name of Allah, the most gracious, most merciful. Like the young boy say, "On my mama." Yes. My name is Brother Ahmed. We like to thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedules to join us. This is our first show of the year. What are you doing this year? Well, what we're doing, we're spreading truth. We're spreading life-giving teachings. We're changing lives. We're setting off the year the right way.
Come on, man.
We pray that all of you take something from this show and our upcoming shows and our previous shows, and you're blessed to have some change in your life to guide you towards freedom. Thank you for joining. Back to you, Jack.
Yes, sir. All right. And I'd like to introduce the next co-host, hardworking brother. He's ready to get it in too. He has the New Year's resolution. He said he took a step forward, but he backflipped. So we want to help our brother. Do a cartwheel up forward again, so we can get that flip on. We're gonna do the forward flip this time. But my brother, your brother, Brother Kawi Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, soldier.
Wa alaikum salam, and again, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Jock Brothers Presents Let Us Make Man. I personally think this is a perfect show to start the year off because I know that so many people make these New Year's resolutions to get themselves in shape. They get all these gym memberships, but they don't necessarily consider the diet. And so we got the brother on here. I think it's perfect to start the year off. And I can't wait to get going with the show. Well, once again, thank you for tuning in and supporting the Jock Brothers. If you were here from the beginning, you see us now, you see that was a tremendous upgrade from when we started to now. And for those that have decided to support us financially, thank you. And please continue to do so. And you can cash out whatever donations that you want to give from the bottom of your heart to the Cash App information that's scrolling at the bottom of the screen. But let me tell it to you. It's $ JAQBROS. Jock Bros. Thank you again so much for your contributions. And of course, we have a prison initiative that don't stop because our desire is to put 1,000 final call newspapers behind bars around the country. 1,000. And so for a 90-day subscription of the final call behind bars is $18. Our $18 donation is, to some people, is a small contribution, but the much it can do is absolutely priceless. And for 6 months, it's $30. And for 1 year, it's $60. So please support that initiative, support that endeavor. And of course, you can always send those funds also to the Cash App information scrolling at the bottom of the screen. and you can put prison ministry or prison initiative so we can know where to allocate those funds. Also, last but not least, I don't know 1,000 inmates, and I don't think all of us on this show collectively know 1,000 inmates. So we need your help in making sure that we can get this paper behind bars to these individuals. And you can do that by sending whatever information you have about a loved one to jockbrothersviewers@gmail.com. And again, we'll need their name, we need the inmate number, address, and if you can give us the name of the chaplain for that facility, that'll help us. Let us help us weave through some of the issues that we had with some prisons. So again, name, inmate number, address, chaplain number. Thank you. Let's get to the show. Thank you, Brother Jackie.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, brothers and sisters, like I said earlier, we have a wonderful show. We have a wonderful guest. I want to read our guest bio. His name is Dr. Akili Graham Muhammad, affectionately known as Dr. Akili. He attended Meharry Medical College in Nashville, Tennessee. He completed residencies at the University of Texas. Dr. Akili practiced in a federally funded health facility in Houston prior to opening his own private practice in 2003. He's trained traditionally in allopathic Western medicine. He has concluded that the medical society with the best technology, the most doctors, medications, and medical facilities is not, I repeat, is not producing adequate solutions to restore and heal the body. As such, Dr. Akili now studies How to Eat to Live by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. It's a beautiful study right here. He's making a complete, he's completing the work of our message, teaching us the science of it, man. This is what we need. He also deals with alternative therapies designed to provide a holistic approach to restoring the body through nutrition and alternative therapies. Evaluating the whole body is what is needed in holistic health. So we want to deal with that holistic health tonight. Recognizing this need and the lack of information available to the society, Dr. Akili began offering a series of how-to seminars designed to educate and improve mental, emotional, and physical health. He actively educates society by speaking at schools, religious, and community organizations. Dr. Akili continues to take time out of his schedule to address restoring your health in your kitchen.
That's right.
He believes that prevention is worth more, much more than doctor bills. So with the Jock Brothers round of applause, let us welcome for the new year to the show. Let us welcome him back to the show, a regular contributor to the Jock Brothers, Dr. Akili Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Thank you, brothers, for having me. I sure appreciate it. That's enough about me. Let's get whatever work y'all got for me.
Well, let's start. Let's get into it, Dr. Akili. It says here you said that you concluded that the medical society with the best technology is not producing adequate solutions to restore and heal the body. Now, I looked up allopathy, which is what you studied, right? Allopathic.
Yes, sir.
And it says that it is the science of healing the symptoms of diseases.
Yes, sir.
And so I was like, wow, so we're not healing the diseases. So we're not touching the disease. So was that part of, why you concluded what you concluded? And tell us about your conclusion, sir.
Yeah, I was in my office in 3rd Ward, the Black community near downtown in Houston, Texas. And I was having a frustrating day, bro. I was sitting across from this lady, had 14 pills on the table. And it was like just a real frustrating day. I remember leaving the office saying, man, I'm not going to practice medicine anymore. I'm going to change, start doing real estate. All my friends were making a lot of money in real estate. And I was just, I mean, this is not what I wanted to be a doctor for, giving pills, sending to a specialist, sending to surgery, sending for this procedure. It just wasn't fulfilling me, bro. I was literally in a serious turmoil at that time in my life. And literally when I went home that night, How to Eat to Live was in my bookcase, which was right near my door when I came in the house. And, I know it was Allah that just made me notice the book more than typical. I grabbed it and started reading it that night, and I couldn't put it down. Over the next probably like 3 to 4 days, I read How to Eat to Live every day when I got home. And, in the first 30 pages, he says, you can cure diabetes without medication. I was like, hell, ain't no way he know what he's talking about. Chronic diseases can be cured in months or years. I ain't never heard nobody say nothing like that. And then fasting can cure 90% of your ills. Those 3 statements right there blew my mind. And literally, in all honesty, I was angry. I was like, why in the hell can this man say this? And I didn't hear any of my mentors, nobody in medical school, no studies to mention any of these things. And so I didn't believe it. I went to the office after finishing reading book 1 and was like, man, I'm about to prove this man wrong. So here I sit all these years later, totally lost that battle for sure, because that book outperformed any and everything that I've ever read in my life. And it gave everything back to me: fulfillment, pleasure. So it was a wake up call, my brother. Like you said, I mean, when I actually started doing research and I look back at like the origins of medical school and the ideology that was put in the medical schools by the Rothschilds, I was seriously angry at how much money I had loaned to get this degree. But over the years, I've been comforted because there were some things that I learned through that process that I think gives me a deeper understanding in some of the things that Donald Elijah Muhammad said. So it's been a serious, worthwhile trip to get to where Allah has me today. And I'll explain that to everybody in a little bit.
Yes, sir. I want to go back to something you said about reading. You said for the first 30 days, or you said you was reading? How did you?
First 30 pages. He said
first
those
30
things in the first, it's either the first 30 to 35 pages. He makes those, to me at that time, were profound statements.
Yes, sir. I wanted to say that for those of us who are striving to get on or get back on How to Eat to Live, Brother Jabril said just reading the words in the book consistently, the spirit of the words can help us have the strength to follow the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and How to Eat to Live. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now you deal with holistic health as well. What is holistic health?
Well, for me, I don't define my holistic health like the rest of these people out here, but
yes, sir.
Just by the way, if y'all read just 5 pages a day, you'll be finished with the first book before the end of the month. So that's a great way to start your morning if you're trying to get your mind back on How to Eat to Live. But, to me, bro, How to Eat to Live is an entire lifestyle. I don't believe that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad misses any aspect of my life when he talks about the right way to eat, when he talks about the right way to look at God, when he talks about thinking correctly. I mean, there are just so many different aspects to the book just made me look at my life. And I said, damn, there's a lot that I have to fix at the time when I first started reading it. And so I spelled holistic with a W, WHOLISTIC, whereas most people out here spell HOLISTIC. And I determined that based on that fact, that when I read How to Eat to Live and then really started to study it and delve into it and wanted to be a practitioner and a perfect practitioner of it, my life became more and more whole. The aspects of my life that were raggedy, the book was inspiring me. Of course, the teachings in general with everything else that he and the minister has given us, but it was How to Eat to Live that started my journey of wanting to be a whole person. I wanted my mental health to be good, psychological, emotional, spiritual, physical, all of that to be good. But I wanted to be a better husband, a better father, a better son. I wanted to be a better Black man for the community. And so when I started thinking about all of that, I wanted to be whole. And this world doesn't make Black people whole. And I believe that the teachings that Honorable Elijah Muhammad do. And so that's why I started using that terminology. I would say that it's much different than the explanation of these typical holistic doctors out here, because in many cases, I have seen them be just as materialistic and just as money driven as the regular medical industry. So word to the wise, be careful.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, to me, and I was talking with someone just recently about, holistic care, because it seems now that, if some of us are going through something, and it seems that we wait until the last stages to delve into holistic care. And I'm wondering about that. But to me, it always have, I tried holistic. Okay, but when did you try? Did you try? Was it preventive or was it after the fact? So in your approach to holistic care with the W, is it more preventive? Is it more before something come of something happens to your body, or does it work after the fact? Like if you're dealing with, I don't know, any disease that you're dealing with, describe, when should we start with holistic care?
Excellent question, my brother. My first response would be that Honorable Elijah Muhammad said prevention is the best way. So that's what we should be doing. We should be trying to put together a healthy lifestyle to prevent anything from going wrong in these beautiful bodies we've been given. Now, that's a difficult process in America. And what I meant earlier about, I was going to tell you all where I am now. I have been studying the 7 most popular health documentaries on the earth. They are, of course, on Netflix and Prime Video and these other places, but the 7 most popular I have been studying over the last month. And there's no question in my mind, these people have been studying How to Eat to Live by Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And so when you go out here and you start looking at these documentaries, very few of them even consider Black people. And when they do consider us, they pick the most ignorant Black person, or they go to Africa where we look the most savage. And that's what they present to the world of us.
Yes, sir.
But I am here to tell you that the mistake we make as Black people, and even those of us in the Nation of Islam, is we don't start trying to murder white supremacy. That should happen every day. There should be something about us that didn't totally come right. We should be trying to fix that. That's what Brother Keely's trying to do, become holistic.
Right.
Because I look at these documentaries and I have respect for the people that do them. I actually have admiration for the people that do them, but that don't change the fact that these white people are racist as hell. They say things in their documentaries like, we've been doing this for thousands of years. Man, Black people have been on this planet for trillions of years. So shut that crap up, your arrogant behind. And I'm saying this to you, brothers and sisters, because if you don't go into these documentaries thinking like I'm talking, then you're going to be confused when you come out of the documentary and you won't even know why. And it's because they're slapping you across your face with this racism, this arrogance, because white people don't know how to give credit to the origination of medicine, which was Emotep, who taught all them Johnny come lately pale faced dudes. All of these people now that supposedly have these new programs, Methuselah Mouse, calorie restriction, OMAD. They don't want to say 1 meal a day. They know where they got it from. But all these different terminologies that they use, that nomenclature wasn't around until they arrested the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and took his books. That's when they started researching what he wrote in all of these articles around the country. And so they've been studying him. And these documentaries are proof that they've been studying us and them. I'm sorry, us and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And the reality is that there's nothing more important than prevention.
Right.
That is the most important thing that all of us should be doing. You should have a daily regimen that's going to prevent you from ever going down the hill to be diagnosed with a disease or diagnosed with something or having a problem or having arthritis or losing your memory. None of these things should happen if we understand and then we prevent. Now, if you wind up having a medical problem, how in 2023 are we still trusting a system that ain't never proved nothing to none of us? And we've been watching this medical system since our grandparents started taking medicine.
That's right.
Yeah.
So to me, it's a real foolish idea when people come to me and ask me what my opinion is and then tell me, well, I'm going to go and get this powerful, stuff. And then if it don't work, then I'm coming to you. Wow, that's so stupid. Because let me tell y'all something that I learned this summer in my garden. I was at my bell pepper and my jalapeno and my tomato plants and just cleaning up stuff, weeding and stuff like that. And I just happened to touch one of the leaves. And at the same time, the leaf was touching me. One of the jalapenos was on my hand. I was like, damn, that thing is hot as hell. The actual fruit of these plants, which is underneath the leaves, were hotter than the leaves. And the leaves were where the 100-degree temperature was on. Blew me away. I never even experienced that before. And I went around to each one of the plants that had food on it, and I tested them all. Now, if anybody can tell me how in the hell can any human being go into a laboratory and put in a pill that type of science? What kind of human can go into a laboratory and put in a liquid or a supplement or anything that's got that type of power? So if you get your mind confused with the reality that you're going to go to a traditionally trained doctor and you're going to take a tablet after doing 30, 40 years of not treating yourself right, you come up with this problem and you're going to take a pill to fix it? That doesn't even sound like it makes sense when I pose it that way. So brothers and sisters, we got to get back to the way we were before this system transformed my mother's generation. My mother was born in 1935. My mother told me that when she had me and my brothers, the doctor told her that the Similac and Enfamil was comparable to breast milk. That's why she didn't breastfeed us. And so now I have a disconnect with my mother because there's no way you can totally be connected to your mom if she didn't breastfeed you. There's a disconnect there. I've proven it within myself. I don't have time to tell that story tonight.
Yes,
but the other thing is that they've told us different than my grandmother, right? My grandmother would get ill or we would get ill. My grandmother would say, oh, take this plant or let's go out to the countryside and get this or that, make this type of tea or make this type of bath. But my mother was influenced to say, take something. Got a headache? Take something. Stomach hurt? Take something. So we were destroyed in that connection to the earth, connection to nature, connection to the motherland. And now we've been inundated with a system that has proven us nothing. So I would say, brothers and sisters, consider to not go in a system that's never been about healing you. It's always been about money, and Black people have been destroyed by that system because they experiment on us, treat us like crap. 2020 statistics are that 80% of Black people still go to white doctors. And you wonder why your Black behind is getting closer to the grave every day.
But let me ask you something. According to what you said about traditionally trained doctors, is it difficult for you to find a group, holistic trained or holistic doctors that study that study? Is it hard for you to get a group together because the traditional trained doctors seem to more that they studied the traditional medicine get so caught up in it? Is it hard for you to find a group of brothers and sisters or men and women that support holistic health and wellness?
It's been impossible, my brother. I mean, I've been talking like this about how to live since about 2005, 2006 in the nation and out of the nation. And I have nobody that has any ideology of what I'm talking about. They have no connection. But I got plenty of young folks, bro, that are tapping in and Some of them are going to medical school. Some of them have decided to be other different things. But as Allah is my witness, bro, he's going to help me build a team where we won't have to worry about having to undo what you go to these schools. And because I'll be honest with you, bro, it was so much propaganda that when I sat back and looked at how I was trained, it was mostly propaganda, because the nights and the many nights and the many hours that I sat down and studied those books, most of that knowledge was good. But as soon as I got up out of the classroom and walked into the hospital, it was all follow this doctor, follow that doctor. And then if I'm honest, the doctors that I was following was the ones that was cool, the ones that was all the ladies was interested in, the one that drove the nicest car, the one that lived out at the nice house. That was the stupidity that I was on, because I really didn't understand what the gift was that God was giving me. So, you know, to decide to be a physician for those reasons, which I can say deep in my heart, it was always to help people, but that was the influence as I was going through the process. And, you know, when I read How to Eat to Live, it was a wake up call. I mean, I literally was angry because I realized that it was all a facade. There was nothing in the aspect of so-called education that was true and honest. It was all for a way of putting a person in a peg, right? Put him in this box, or put him in that container where the fleas hit the top and then take off the top and they still ain't going to jump out. You see what I'm saying? That's what they do to us. And in all honesty, my personal viewpoint is the more education you get in the American system, the more against your people you become. You don't realize it, but you're not being grown to be for your people. You start thinking you better than your people. And you can just look around at doctors and lawyers and black PhDs. Just watch their activity. It'll prove it to you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, yes, sir. Oh, go ahead, brother.
No, go ahead.
Well, first of all, I'd just like to thank the viewing audience. And if y'all are hearing something that you like that can help a family or friend, please share this show, because my brother's on fire.
Yeah, you know,
I'm loving the energy, brother, the passion, and I just want you to keep that up. So we on Holistic Talk, and when I used to work, whenever I go to the office, or when I used to work in corporate America, you know, I would see a lot of people with herbs. They didn't take the pills. They so instead of taking the blood pressure pills that the doctor gave them, they'll take a herbs supplement, something, you know, whatever it was, diabetic, to take the supplement because they felt that was more healthy. Is that the truth? Is it more healthy? Is herbs something that work?
Absolutely, my brother. You know, I would say probably 90 to 95% of the pills that you get prescribed by a doctor is an a blocker, or an inhibitor or something in the body, right? Think about it. Blood pressure pills, beta blockers, calcium channel blockers, ARBs are angiotensin blockers, angiotensin inhibitors. You see what I'm saying? That's what the majority of medications that you take from a doctor is going to block some system in the human body that was made by the God we serve. How the hell are you going to get better by blocking something from the God that you serve when you're trying to get better? So yeah, herbs are a much better perspective. The problem is that, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad tells us in How to Eat to Live, that we're dealing with a commercializing people. They commercialize on everything. And so many of our people are doing that. But I ask people all the time, how long have you been taking that herb for your blood pressure? I've been taking this about 5 years. Damn, you could fix a blood pressure problem in 6 months. So you have the same philosophy of not changing and not doing something different. And so it's not much different than taking a pill, because if you're taking an herb, you're spending money every month or every how often. But what about the things to solve the problem? And that's unfortunate, because when you're talking about something that's more effective, then people should grow, right? If I'm ignorant about health in general, if I come to a holistic practitioner, I'm supposed to grow in knowledge. I'm supposed to be able to take this herb and say, okay, here's some other things. Here's some explanations. I'm taking this. I'm going to do these other things. And eventually I'll be able to wean off of this herb. But that's not the way these people think these days, because they're thinking about the business plan more than the people. So I got to find as many people as I can and put them on these supplements and make sure they come back every month, every couple of months, and re-up like a damn drug head. So it's not much different in the philosophical perspective. But yes, herbs are better than something that's inhibiting the human body. And let me just say this last thing, because we have to, well, I shouldn't say we, Brother Akili has to disabuse my people of looking at things so mystical and so like in this crazy way.
Come on, man.
Do not believe that there's any magic about herbs. Herbs produce, that's not true. Herbs give us, they deliver nutrients. So the best place to go for nutrients is food. That's why the God that we serve, that's why Allah put food on this planet Earth, so that we can eat it and maintain this body at the highest level. Now, if something goes wrong, sometimes an herb will give you an extra boost in this particular fill of nutrients, or these particular phytonutrients, or these particular micronutrients. But at the end of the day, don't believe that the herb is supposed to take the place of the food. No, it's not. It's an addition. It's like going to the gym, like most people are doing right now, wasting your damn money, because by February you won't be in the gym anymore. But people go to the gym, and the gym industry knows that they're going to make all their money in January. That what they charge you is going to last for the first 6 to 8 months, but you ain't coming back after February. But think about this. You go to the gym, and you're supposed to be doing the work. You're supposed to get under that bar. You're supposed to do that press. And if somebody's there to help you, they may push your arms down. They may lift your arms a little bit. They may pull on the weight a little bit, but you got to do the work. And that's the reality of herbs. The food is supposed to do the work to keep you where you need to be. When you need a little help, you need a little boost, you need a little support, that's when you do herbs. But don't get caught up in thinking that something in a laboratory that somebody put into a pill, a liquid form, or whatever the case may be, that cannot be better than putting something in the dirt in your backyard and being able to pull that off of that plant. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said there's very little pure food on the market when he wrote these articles many, many, many years ago. And Brother Akili can vouch for the fact that I don't give a damn what the name of the grocery store you go to. Name them all.
Yeah.
You can't find a lot of pure food. Even the places that are supposed to be better.
Yeah, brother and sister.
Garbage over there, a whole lot of tricks and a whole lot of lies.
Come on now.
We better get to growing food. That's for sure.
So
Yes.
herbs,
brother.
should be looked upon as being a sparring partner.
Yeah, and even that, bro, they got to research. I mean, since this pandemic has happened, man, I've taken many Muslims off of supplements with pork byproducts. I've taken many vegetarians off of supplements that have animal byproducts in them. And I've taken many people off of supplements that have cancer-causing agents and other things that are horrific for your body. And here it is that you're trying to do something good. So there's a lot to learn about what is going on out here, because we're being fooled every day in the name of somebody making money, and it's going to be at your expense if you're not educated.
Yes, sir. Wow.
But I just wanted to jump on one of the words you just used a minute ago, one of the myths. And you spoke about the myths in the different herbs, but that myth that, I've given up because it's heredity. I'm sick because my family has a sickness, and it's been going all the way through slavery, because they can't go further than that. But their mindset is, I'm sick, so it doesn't matter what Dr. Akili says or what the books I'm reading say. My family has a sickness, and that's it. We're done.
Yeah, I mean, a person who has that philosophy, it don't make a difference what Brother Keeley say. I mean, that's cool, what I mean? But maybe you the same type of person that think that white people came first. That's just proof that you got to reincorporate your information and go on a different track, because it's just not true. I sit here in front of you all from a family, just like most Black families. Diabetes, high blood pressure, seizures, cancer, liver problems. I have all that in my family, but I sit here in front of you, brothers, 55 years young, not a medical problem, no issues. I get up every day. I don't have any joint pains. I don't have arthritis. I went through a detox and had some eczema in my face over the last couple of weeks, but outside of things like that, I don't have any problems. But how is that true when everybody in my family, even people that are younger than me, are taking high blood pressure medicine and diabetic medicines? How is that true when I have many people that come to me and say, I have diabetes like everybody else in my family, but they solved the problem in a year? I have people that come to me with Parkinson's. My grandpa had it, my uncle had it, my daddy had it, and they're solving the problem. That's not possible if it's genetics. Not one of these brothers that you see on this program right now can change the shape of their nose unless they got Michael Jackson money. Can't change the color of our eyes. Can't change our lips. Of course, unless we go to surgery. That's genetic. But a medical problem? Why would God allow you to have a medical problem in your genetics? The darker the person, the closer you are to the pure genetics of God himself. You get the light-skinned people like me. We had some white men raped my great-grandmother. That's how I wound up with this light skin. So all that stupidity is mixed up in my genes. But the darker the skin of a person, the closer you are to the pure genetics of God himself. That's what our genetic line goes back to. Why would he put disease in his genes? It makes no sense. I don't know one person on the planet Earth that would consider God having a medical problem. We should think of ourselves the same way.
Brother Keely, that was rough, man. Well, you just abused somebody today. All right, so okay, so let's go into fasting then. Let's go into fasting now. Fasting for us is just say, they matter of fact, if you study what they're doing now, they say when you wake up, if you wake up at 8 and you don't eat until, I think they try to do like a 16-hour fast. They call that fasting now. But our fasting is at least 24 hours, 48 hours, or 72 hours with no food, just water, tea, or coffee. What is happening in the body scientifically during a fast?
Is he froze? Did he freeze?
Yeah, I think unless I thought that was my screen.
Yeah.
Oh, Yakub don't want us talking about fasting. Okay. Did you hear me, brother?
No, I heard you say fasting for 48 hours, 72 hours. That's the last I heard.
Okay, yes, sir. I'm asking what is happening scientifically in the body during a fast? If we fasting for 24, 48, 72 hours, what is happening in the body scientifically? If you can,
well, first of all, let me tell this page number, because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad talks about fasting on book 1, page 20. So for you all that are listening, make sure you go to the book and look at what the man says that I'm quoting. But he said fasting with the right type of foods is a cure. He says that on page 19. And then he says fasting is a cure for 90% of our ills. So there's a great reality that's happening when we fast. Now, I've got to put this in context, because to talk about the benefits of fasting, you got to have the tools available. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad tells us over and over and over in How to Eat to Live, the best of foods. So if you believe you're eating the best of foods, not going to McDonald's or eating ramen noodles or going up and down the aisles and all your food is coming out of boxes and packages, your fast is going to be beneficial, but it's not going to be beneficial enough. But if you're eating the best of foods, we have to look at the reality of how long it takes to digest food. So if we're talking about a vegetarian meal, probably 6 hours. Add fish, maybe 7 hours. Add chicken and turkey, probably going to go up to 10 hours. Eat beef and lamb, probably going up to 14, 16 hours. Now, why am I saying that?
You saying to digest it, right?
To digest it, right?
Yes, sir.
So if I sit and I eat a meal,
yes, sir,
and I have chicken in my meal, when I take my last swallow, it's going to be approximately 10 to 12 hours to digest that chicken with other stuff mixed up with it. Beef and lamb longer, right? So you got to take this in consideration when you start talking about fasting. So I'm just going to use fish as an example, right? So we eat fish, 8 o'clock, swallowed your last portion of your meal. It's going to take you approximately 7 hours to digest that, right? So 4 hours to midnight, 3 more hours at 3 o'clock in the morning, you have finished digesting your food. If you ate a vegetarian meal, go a little less. If you ate those other meats, go a little longer. But now you're looking at the time frame after digestion to absorb everything. So the nutrients have to be absorbed by the small intestines and the large intestines, and then what? Placed into the body, right? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad mentions in How to Eat to Live that it takes many hours to process the food after we have digested it, the proteins and the nutrients. So we're talking about after a 7-hour digestion phase, you're looking somewhere around that same time frame to absorb and to put those nutrients into the body. So 14 hours after 8, right? 8 p.m., 8 a.m., 12 hours, 10 a.m., you now have finished putting everywhere it needs to be. You ate the best of foods. You have the tools in the brain, tools in the liver and the muscles and all aspects of the body. Whatever was calling for it, that's what the body does. It sends it where it's needed. And now your body is in the capability of absolute repair, renewal, and remodeling of anything in the body that needs to be fixed.
Man, this is good teaching, bro.
Right? Now,
Come on,
it goes to another degree now, though.
Yes, sir.
So here
Yes,
it
sir.
is. At that time frame, you're fixing, you're repairing. And then approximately 5 hours after that, you start doing what we call autophagy, which is now taking things out and using that recycling process. Oh, I can use that out of that cell. We about to kick that cell out. Yeah, it's no good anymore. Yeah, I want to use that little, what you call it right there? Yeah, give me that. These tissues over here, we're going to clean out that whole thing. Oh, yeah, but I want to use that right there. That's good. All the bad stuff we throw away. Then what happens in the next 4 to 5 hours? You go into making stem cells. That means absolute regeneration. That ain't something that's repaired. That's not something that's remodeled. That's brand new, like a baby just coming out.
Right.
Right. So we go on back and we looking at all these companies out here now selling you stem cells. Have some discipline about yourself and go on a fast, and you'll make your own stem cells. So think about that. After about approximately 20 to 24 hours, I'm making stem cells. We're allowed to drink water. We're allowed to drink tea. We're allowed to drink coffee on our fast. So we're talking about almost 48 hours of our body looking, checking out, what do we need to renew? What is the most necessary place in the body that needs to be renewed? Boom, send those stem cells. So with fasting, you get renewed. That's why the Honorable Elijah Muhammad can make a statement like fasting is a cure for 90% of our ills. And these people have been studying it since he started saying it in the 30s. It's the best thing that you can do when you have eaten the best of foods. When you don't eat the best of foods, some of these processes can still take place, but it's like putting bad gas in a Lambo, putting bad gas in your Bentley. I don't know very many black people to do that. They go buy expensive cars. They go to the most expensive gas stations. But yet we sometimes will go on a fast after coming off a vacation or eating bad food or eating cheap food. We should start trying to take care of these bodies to the best of the ability, and you will watch it heal 90% of your ills.
Man, hold on, Kawhi. Hold on, Kawhi. Let me go back.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Okay, now with the stem cells, so your body does not do that while you're eating.
Impossible. No, sir.
So it only happens
when we do our 3-day fast every month, black man.
Yes, sir.
Renew our entire blood system. Red blood cells, white blood cells, plasma. That's the whole blood system. The only thing other than that is water. In a 72-hour fast, what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has been telling us to do for 90 years, we will replenish our entire blood system. So imagine what would happen if you fast for 5. What about 10? But no, it cannot happen when you're eating. And it cannot happen if you're drinking juice on your fast. You interrupt the process.
See, that's science. I'm loving this, brother. Go ahead, Kawhi.
Well, no. I heard the coffee, tea, and what's it called? Coffee, tea, and water, right?
Water.
I'm not talking about the 3-day fast in particular. I'm just talking about, just a bit like milk. I like milk. Now, so I consider it a food, and I know you don't supposed to drink it during the 3-day fast, but if it's considered a meal, and I'm eating a meal, when do I use milk? When is the time to use milk? If it's considered something that could be considered a food.
Well, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says when you eat and get full so that you can make it to your next meal. So for instance, today is I was pretty busy, but on a typical day when I end my day and I got reasonable time, I will drink milk or make a milk smoothie an hour and a half before my meal. And then I'll go into my bean soup, my wheat bread, and sit down and eat whatever my wife has prepared. And so that's the way I use milk. I would say that every person that drinks milk has to consider milk a meal because it has a lot of what's in the bean soup. It has a lot of the nutrients that we need. So it literally is something that the body has to process. There's not a lot of digestion. I would say hardly any digestion, but it's a lot of processing that the body has to do. What is this? How do I separate this? What am I going to do with this after I absorb it? So this work. And that's what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad mentions about starting the digestive process in between meals, right? So if we're fasting, milk should not be a part of fasting, but milk is an excellent source of good nutrients, many good nutrients, including vitamin D, but it definitely has to be done in a way that makes sense because it also has a lot of calories. When my wife and I first got married, we both blew up because we were doing a smoothie every day before breaking our fast, right? I was strict on my 1 meal a day, but I would do a glass of milk with some sugar in it because I can't stand the taste of it myself, or some honey, or I would make a smoothie. But I was drinking that every day, man. I blew up to almost 200 pounds in a couple of months. So it has a lot of calories. So you got to be careful in how you do it. And then the other thing that I suggest people use milk for is making the transition to 1 meal every other day. You can eat your meal, like let's say, for instance, today I eat my regular meal. Tomorrow I would drink milk or just do a smoothie, and that's it. And then the next day I eat a meal. And then you get to a point where you say, okay, I'm going to stop doing the milk on those days, and that's going to be my day that I don't eat. So a lot of times I use it just to help people kind of move towards 1 meal every other day, which I would suggest to every person that's over 40.
Why?
Well, the reality is that we live in a very toxic society. We live in a society where very demonic minds are doing things that we don't even know about. There are chemtrails almost every day. If you walk around, you ever look up, there's poisons in the water. Even the best of foods, as Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us, has some toxins in them. But how often do we mess up? And let me not take it off on anybody else. How often does Brother Keeley mess up? So I need as much fasting as I can get. And so when I suggest that people should do it over 40, it's because the body is not getting any higher in metabolism once we reach 40, because most of us start sitting more. We become more sedentary around 40. People usually still have some activity. I'm just talking in general. It's not everybody. In general, people usually start slowing down in their 30s, and by the time they're 40, they're much more sedentary. And so it doesn't make sense for any human, because it doesn't happen in an animal, in nature, not animals in a zoo or in somebody's backyard, but animals, as they age, they don't eat as much as they did when they were younger. But humans continue eating the same amount of food or even more as they age. And that's why you see bellies getting bigger and jaws, and medical problems. So that's why I suggest it to people over 40. And the second reason is because with all of this toxicity in our environments, imagine every other day you're producing stem cells. So to some degree, you're renewing yourself every 48 hours. I think that's a pretty wonderful thing to do. And as much work as we have to do to get our people right, we need to live as long as we can. So last statement about 1 meal every other day. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad states that if we eat like he is teaching us, we'll live to 140. He never talked about when to start. Another place he says, if you eat navy beans, whole wheat bread, and milk, you will live to 140. And then he says, if you eat 1 meal every other day, you'll live that much longer. He didn't put a number on it. So because Brother Keeley's interested in not only inshallah, being the conduit by which Black people get healthy, first in the Nation of Islam, and then we can become the examples for everybody else on the planet. But after that, whatever else it takes for us to get our people to a place where I can say, you know what, I'm good, I'm ready to check up out of here. I think I need to live at least 250 years to be able to say that.
Come on now. That's what I'm talking about. Okay.
We got a question. We got a question inside on the milk conversation inside the text. Does the milk we drink need to be raw, or can it be pasteurized?
That is a well, let me first say I don't use the word raw because the word raw comes from a different school of thought, and I don't prescribe to any school of thought other than the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and How to Eat to Live. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad calls it whole milk, so that's what Brother Keeley is talking about when he's talking about milk. But it's a good question because it does talk about whether or not you're going to get milk directly from a cow and drink it, or are you going to pasteurize it? My understanding is that the minister discussed milk with some believers, and he explained to them, I believe Dr. Wesley was there at that meeting, and he told them that it should be pasteurized. So I would never say anything different than a man who has helped raise me and put me on a better path of how to eat to live. So I would suggest, especially because most people have no idea what the right questions are to ask when you go to a farm, it would probably be best for you to pasteurize it. Pasteurization doesn't do a lot of damage. It may do some. The majority of the damage in your milk is done through the homogenization process. So for sure, don't drink homogenized milk. But if anybody's interested, reach out to me if you need to get the list of questions that you need to ask if you're actually going to go to a dairy farm and buy milk from people directly.
Okay, we need to get that information of how they can reach out to you so we can display that through this conversation. But I want to ask you, I know the minister did say that the milk should be boiled. Is that pasteurization when you boil the milk? Okay.
Yes,
okay.
But I always tell people that the boiling process that I suggest is what they call flash pasteurize. So you get your temperature, your milk up to the temperature of 160. You keep it there for about 3 minutes, and then you put it back in something and put it right back in the refrigerator or your freezer and cool it down quickly. Because again, the pasteurization at that time frame will kill the type of bacteria that can sometimes be in cows that can cause infertility in men and women. And so that is the concern. I don't need to go into the names of them because they're very scientific names, but that's the concern, is that there are some bacteria in the milk that are natural for a cow, but in humans, it could cause problems. So that's the concern.
No, that's proper, brother. That's proper teaching right there. Okay, man, bro, I'm yeah, this is good, brother. Okay, let's go with the basics. 1 meal a day at the proper time. And he teaches us the proper time is between 4 and 6. I'm wondering, is there anything scientific about 4 and 6 that the body is doing at that time, or is it anything that you have discovered why he wants us to eat between 4 and 6?
Well, let me make a correction on that, my brother, because in book 1 on page 33, he says eat 1 meal a day from 4 to 6.
Okay.
In book 2 on page 85, he says eat your meal in between 4 or 6. Can I tell you all what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad meant? Hell no, I am not the man who met with God.
Yes, sir.
But what I can say is that the sun is at its zenith at 3 o'clock. And after that, the human body, which is tied into the circadian rhythm and the earth revolving around the sun, begins to start calming down as well. So Brother Achilles' estimation, I can't say what he meant, but my estimation is that the body is starting to go towards a more calm, a more relaxed, a more ready to go to sleep perspective, because we are made to want to rest and need to rest as the sun sets, right? Again, we're talking about the sun is still and the earth is moving around. So it's not actually the sun setting, it's the rotation of the earth. But for sake of being clear with everybody, as the sun sets, your body is starting to calm, chill, getting a little more slow activity. So I think that it's tied to that because the digestion process needs to occur so that we can get those nutrients and be prepared for the next day. That's the purpose of that one meal, is to give you the nutrients, the energy to take care of that next day. And so that would be my estimation, my brother. I couldn't say and talk like I'm an expert, but that's what I've concluded based on what I understand of the body.
That's a good conversation. Go ahead.
I got a question about that one meal. In chapter 14, it says, you do not need everything that is good to eat to live a happy life. Take some of the things that are good to eat. Of course, you should have a balanced diet. Now, I read that statement to go into a question of people who set up their dinner and, okay, I have my proteins here, I have my carbs here, is that necessary to set up your meal that way?
No, I don't think so. My personal suggestion to people when they reach out to me is the first thing that you should do if you're going to follow How to Eat to Live is make your grocery list based on How to Eat to Live. You know, if a person says they understand who the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is, and you say you're going to follow How to Eat to Live, why did you not make a list of foods that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad mentioned in How to Eat to Live?
Right.
Because Brother Keeley, when he puts his mind around the reality of who I think the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is, I don't believe he ever wasted a word.
Come on now.
I believe that every time he's ever told us anything, and even a whole book like Message to the Black Man, every word in that book is scientifically placed and has an absolute meaning that has profound understanding if we study it enough. So I don't ever think outside of the list of foods that I made out of How to Eat to Live. That is the crux of my diet. So when I sit down and I think about the fact that I do need protein, I do need carbohydrates, and I do need fat. Well, the Navy bean gives me all three of those things.
Come on now.
If I'm doing milk, I'm getting fat, sugar, and protein in that as well. If I'm doing vegetables, I'm getting a lot of the phytonutrients that are going to help solve problems. I'm eating fruit of different colors, get a lot of different phytonutrients. I'm getting all my vitamins in these different array and different colors of food. So, you know, it's amazing that you asked that, my brother, because I was listening to one of the documentaries. I'm forgetting the name of it right now. Let me look it up real quick. But that's what the guy was talking about. He said nutrition versus nutritionalism. And a lot of these people, that's what they're talking about. They come up with these ideas, and then 10, 15 years down the line, somebody else proves that was BS. Mm. Now, I got to talk real quickly about the process of a mother making a baby, right? Because the minister taught us, if you want to understand how Allah created himself, study the womb of a woman. Mm. So here it is that the sperm and the egg touch each other. And a lot of people think just one sperm made. Thousands of them make it. Mm-hmm. There's a courtship process. The egg is checking out the sperm. Sperm is checking out the egg. When the correct match occurs, the sperm penetrates the egg, and there's a rotation and an explosion that begins. In that process, the cells start duplicating, right? And as that's occurring, it's moving, and then it becomes implanted. And when it first implants, it's a foreign body to that woman's body. So you have another uphill climb in that her body is now trying to murder this thing.
Right.
And then her cells cover it. And now it's not a foreign body anymore. But that process of that early process, and then eventually be turning into a little baby, there's a umbilical cord, a sac of water. Her uterus expands and gets thick to protect that baby. What am I saying? Everything that we need is on this earth. Everything. There's nothing that can be missed. And so if you follow the foods that this man has given us, I promise you, you don't need to go into all the specifics like these people are doing. It takes years. It took me years to understand these things. And so for the average person, it's not necessary to know these things if you have a good foundation. Now think about what we have in the Nation of Islam, or people that just are sympathizers, or people that just like how these live. Think about what you have in comparison to those who are vegans. And this ain't trying to throw any shade on vegans. I'm just telling the truth about veganism. Veganism was started by a white man who didn't want to harm animals. I think that's one of the most foolish ways to start an eating plan, because a man's philosophy was to not hurt animals. No, the scientific basis of what you should eat is what is going to fulfill the needs of the body. You need micronutrients, right? Donald Waldroma said that everything that's in the earth is in the body, and everything in the body comes from the earth, even the metals, the vegetation, the rocks. So we need those micronutrients that make everything that we see. We need the vitamins. We need the fat, the protein, and the sugar. So if the foods that he lists, which in my study, he gives the best quality foods, the best nutrition in the foods that he suggests. So what we have to do is concentrate more on being disciplined and diligent. Stick to the foods that he gives us and watch your health improve. And for all of you that have made a New Year's resolution, my suggestion would be start small, start slow, and build yourself a lifestyle that you can live with. Because this idea of doing something major at these specific times of your life, well, like we said in the beginning of the show, go back and ask yourself, how many times has it worked? If you make a New Year's resolution every year and you fail every year, you don't have to stop making New Year resolutions, but you do have to start doing something different in the way you approach them. And so the book, How to Eat to Live, gives you a methodical way of going from multiple meals down to one. Take your time doing that. The How to Eat to Live is about going in your kitchen, in your refrigerator, in your cupboard, and look at what you have there. Look at what you've been eating. That's why you are where you are right now. And then go to the book and start looking at what he says to change, and start changing here and there. Eat less meat. Eat not as big of meals, but still get full. But then watch these things start to work. And when you start applying small things and you start to see results, then you don't have to worry about making a resolution.
Just keep going. Just keep going. All right, brothers and sisters, we are at our mid-hour. We want to thank Dr. Achilles for such eye-opening teaching. We want to thank him for his spirit and everything. So, Brother Kawhi, let's go ahead and deal with the commercial, sir. You are muted, sir. Get the engineer to unmute.
There you go. Once again, family, thank you for tuning in to the Jot Brothers Presents Let Us Make Man. Again, Dr. Achilles is cracking lots of atoms over here in my household. So
giving you stem cells, brother.
Them stem cells, man. They got the
new stem cells over here.
They are, you know.
Come on, man.
Please share the show. I know it. I know it's somebody that you know that can use this information.
Everybody you know.
Somebody in their family that's suffering from their diet. So this is a great show to share. And again, please support our initiative, the Prison Initiative. Once again, a small donation can do so much for one of our brothers that's incarcerated, or sisters that's incarcerated. $18 for a 3-month subscription. Please support that. And again, the information to send money for that is at the bottom of the screen scrolling. Is our Cash App, $ JAKQ BROS, Jock Bros. Also, we as the Jock Brothers, we like to support businesses. All of us are business owners. That's what Jock Brother represents, us trying to go out there and do our own thing. In my business, I'm a realtor. Please give me a buzz if you have any desire to get you a home, or commercial business or some land. I'm really into that land now. So give me a call. I'll try to make the process super easy for you and enjoyable. Next one, Brother Ahmed. Oh, of course, Ahmed. He's an author now. This brother got so many like subtitles up under his name. He got many letters, but he added one. Author. Support our brother. You can support. You can get his book on Amazon. This is his first book. This is first. I can't wait to get his 12th.
Right.
That's right. So support our brother. You can go on Amazon and get Bilal and the Bully. I can't see it, man. I don't have my glasses. Or you could just go to
eat some carrots.
Or just go to the website www.bipublishing.com and get his book.
My next book is going to be Dr. Akili and his fast.
How to build stem cells.
Hey, don't put my name on there, bro. Put the Honorable Elijah Muhammad on there. Be like,
yes, sir.
That's right. Give me
Smart man.
like this.
Smart
And
man.
of course, you got the owner right here, right in front of you, my brother Jackie Muhammad with Supreme Waste Removals. If you need a can, 20-footer, 30-footer, 40-footer, dumpsters. Well, I call it. Well, it depends on where you are. A dumpster can. And what you want to call Brother Jack, a dumpster?
Yes, sir. Dumpsters. You need a dumpster.
Contact my brother. It's number 404-957-7639. Anything you want to add to that, Brother Jackie?
No, sir. Well, if you're in the Atlanta metro area, we travel from Douglasville to Covington to Griffin, and we do go a little bit towards Alpharetta, but we do Norcross. So wherever you need a dumpster, man, let us know.
And if the money right, you'll go to Valdosta, right?
No, it's enough money right here, brother.
Praise be to Allah.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, bro. That's what I have for you. Thank you, fam.
Thank you, Kawhi. Thank you.
I do have a question though. I want to get this off the last time you was on the show, so definitely gonna get it off on this one. Look here. So I don't know if you look at there's a lot of Facebook going on where these guys having issues or erectile dysfunction. You see them on the commercial all day long. They got all these pills, do this and that and the other. Is that tied into the diet? And if it is, what's the fix? If you know one, yeah.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Having erectile dysfunction is a
You froze again?
Oh yeah, that's him, froze. I'm thinking we got a bad storm over here. Yeah, you froze. You back, brother? Okay. Yes, sir.
The medical industry has kind of sliced up the body into parts, but that's not the way Allah made these bodies. These bodies work as a uniform group of organs for one purpose, right? And so if you have high blood pressure, something wrong with the whole body. If you got a heart condition, can't something be wrong with just the heart? If you got kidney problems, it can't be just the kidneys.
Yes, sir.
So when a man has erectile dysfunction, that is a serious indictment of the lack of having quality blood flow in his body. And that doesn't happen overnight. That's something that took years to happen. And what many people don't know is that with all this smoking weed and popping pills, we're starting to see erectile dysfunction in 20-year-olds now regularly. It ain't like sometimes. It's like erectile dysfunction like a lot of 40 and 50-year-old men that reach out to me. But that is a sign of serious heart disease, blood flow problems all over the body. And if it's not corrected, you're going to have some serious issues. So, I would suggest men stop getting the blue pill or Cialis or stopping at the store and grabbing that stuff that people typically do that's sitting at the front counter, because if that's your plan, you're not solving the problem and something's going to happen and it's going to be major and it's not going to be good. A person who has erectile dysfunction is a high risk for heart attacks, high risk for strokes, high risk for peripheral vascular disease, meaning you don't have good blood flow in your feet or your hands. Also, it potentially can cause you kidney problems long term, because the blood flow to all these organs is in trouble, just like the blood flow to the penis. Now, talk about the anatomy real quick. The anatomy of the penis is that blood flow goes in, and then there's a specialized vein in the penis where it shuts it off. And that's what keeps the penis erect, is the blood flow staying in the penis, and it won't go back out. So if you have problem with erections, you're having a problem with a specialized blood vessel problem, but it's a sign of a generalized problem. So it definitely is something that if a man starts to have that problem, he needs to get serious about changing his lifestyle. And so if you need help with that specifically, reach out to me. But I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm just trying to be honest with you.
He already scared.
Hey, yeah, I mean, and that is true, bro. That most men know. Most men know.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you.
Yes, sir.
Let's as black men, let's start trying to stop being Hollywood actors.
Come on now.
Right? Because we pretend too damn much.
Right. That's
You
right.
gotta have somebody that you can go to and talk to.
That's
friend,
right.
Somebody, because you ain't the only one whose thing is always looking at the ground.
Come on
There's
now.
plenty of men out there like that too. So talk to somebody about it and find somebody that you can go sit down. And again, I said earlier, you'd be a fool to go to a doctor and get Viagra or Cialis, because that's all they're going to do. They're not going to put you on a plan to solve the problem. They're going to put you on a pill that's going to get you erect. Sometimes that causes men to have heart attacks.
Right. You
So
forget all
get
about
on a plane.
Yes,
But
sir.
let's stop being so afraid of being real. We got to start being real with each other. Everybody has somebody that they can talk to. Stop acting like you're going to go to the grave with some of these secrets, because that's what's going to happen. You're going to go to the grave with them secrets.
Great.
Wait.
Yes,
How the brothers get in touch with you? Because you going to get
Well, I tell you what, the easiest way is just to, you see down on the screen, it says the Ultimate Wellness Group. Go to the ultimatewellnessgroup.com. You can get my number there, my email address, my social media. Tap in with a brother. Hey, look, I'm saying it. We laughing, but brothers, you know, it's time for us to stop dying from things.
Yes, sir.
And leaving your family alone and in disarray because you didn't take things more serious. Stop being selfish. That's selfish in my personal viewpoint. Because as I said, when I said earlier that my plan is to live to 250, I'm not just talking. I believe in this book. Yes. I believe in what it has done for me. So at the end of the day, you know, leaving our children and our wives in a place that's unexpected is not a good thing. And so we got to take a little more time to be real. We got to take a little more time to focus on our health. You know, we running after the bag, everything on social media, run after bag. Everybody talk about money. There's a lot more important than that. And I understand, you know, young people are focused on that, but as older brothers, you know, I don't consider myself an old person, but I'm an older brother compared to a 20-year-old. I believe I have to set a better example. So I have to talk about my insecurities. I have to talk about some things are going wrong. And that's just one thing. It's common amongst black men. And last estimates, if I remember, we're like 40 to 45% of black men in America have erectile dysfunction. So yes, you sit around, walking around, thinking that you're keeping a secret. You know, a lot of the brothers that you were around had the same problem. So let's start talking about it, get it fixed, let's share our testimonies about what we did to take it in the right direction. And then it'll stop being so damn taboo. The damn erectile dysfunction, just as bad as fathers raping their daughters and people getting molested in our family. We need to stop all that crap.
Yes,
absolutely. So you say it's the ultimate. What was your contact information?
The ultimatewellnessgroup.com is my website. So they can get all my information from there.
Ultimate Wellness.
Way it's spelled right down there. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. All right. Praise be to Allah.
Now, Dr. Kelly, how often should men and women, black men and women in particular, get a physical checkup, blood work done, all of that? How often should that occur?
I think it's a case-by-case situation, my brother, because, for instance, I met a brother probably about 10 or 12 years ago, and he was dealing with a medical problem. We started working together. I went to his house. I did what I call a cupboard visit, where I look at your refrigerator, I look at your spices, I look at all the stuff that you use regularly, look at your cleaning products, all your stuff you use on your face, your body, and all that. Kind of helped him clean up his life. His wife cleaned up the kitchen, and he solved the problem. It took about a year and 8 months, but he solved the problem. So for that type of a person, maybe, I mean, of course, if you stay diligent on the program, right? That's the point. You don't need to do it every year, because you're living the lifestyle and following a man that said you won't be sick. You understand what I'm saying? So
Yes,
if we are actually practicing how to eat to live, diligently reading the book and say, yeah, I'm doing it like that, then hell, if the man that we say we believe, and this is the man that met with God, said you won't have enough germ at the end of the year to make you sick more than 1 hour, to hell, what the hell I need a doctor for? I got the best doctor.
Come on now.
If I eat one meal every other day, I'm not going to be sick but every 4 to 5 years. I don't need no damn doctor that went to learn in these crazy schools and just want to push some medicine off on me. I got the best doctor on the planet Earth, or outside of the Earth. But at the end of the day, for those of us that aren't following it the way we should, and that are doing a lot wrong and are still eating meat, my suggestion is you're going to have to take the time to find a legitimate physician first, because you can get yourself in trouble by going to these careless doctors that use words very frivolously, and they can mess around and mess your head up. You go into a doctor's office, you nervous, you don't know what they're going to say. They check your blood pressure. They tell you got high blood pressure. How the hell can you tell a person they got high blood pressure? You checked it once. It's a damn lie. And that's what's happening to some of us.
Come on,
Doc.
Doc.
You nervous. You got out of traffic, had an argument with your wife. You sit down because she's telling you behind the whole way, don't turn around. Take your behind to the doctor. Now, you tired of her talking? You don't want to go to the damn doctor's office? You tired of this damn traffic? You take your black behind in the damn doctor's office. They check your blood pressure. It's 175 over 102. That ain't your normal damn blood pressure. And you walked into this damn office. They tell you got high blood pressure, and now your head is messed the hell up.
Right.
And now you got to do all this flipping, all this kind of crap to try to get yourself back right here. So that's my point, is find a good physician first. That's why we need to be talking to each other as black men.
That's
But at the end of the day, finding a quality physician is first, because you can walk inside a doctor's office and get your mind murdered and never get it back. I've seen it happen. If there's some bad news, them goddamn crackers don't know how to tell you that, right? Like I said earlier, statistics that I have found, 80% of black people still go to white doctors. They don't give a damn about you.
Right.
And that's why black people's health isn't getting better.
Right.
Maternal mortality, infant mortality rate still going up. Prostate cancer up, diabetes up. Who's helping you? Got to do something different. So find a good doctor. And if you find a good doctor and you're not living your lifestyle right, I would say you need to get checked at least every year or every other year with the blood work.
Right. Hey, doc, that's not an easy thing. Finding a good doctor, it's not an easy thing.
Nope. Most of the doctors that look like us don't have our minds. I mean,
Now
that's
you got-
serious.
I was just
Then
about
you
to
gotta
say that.
tell
Doctors in America are brown-skinned white people or dark-skinned white people.
Right.
Then they
You gotta
shove
be
that
very-
black. They shove that black RN in your face, like,
That's what they do.
yeah.
It's a game. It's all about money. But at the end of the day, brothers and sisters, I would say on that note that you got to be as diligent with a doctor as you are getting a car or a house
Right.
or anything else that you think is valuable. So, in your region of the country, talk to people or go to the, whatever book or whatever insurance you have. But there should be a consultation where you sit down and you talk to this doctor and you ask him questions and you pose what kind of mentality they have. That's what should be first. You should never walk into a doctor's office and present yourself for the first time with a medical problem. You are probably going to wind up in trouble. So go and sit down and talk with them and ask them questions when you're not in a rush, when you don't have a serious issue. And if things go right, then maybe that's the right person. But if you go and everything is chaotic, you put yourself in that situation.
I'm trying to find something that I
And
was reading.
the doctor is arguing with you about why you haven't taken certain shots. He or she, what's
Yes.
wrong with you? No,
Yep.
well, I'm firing you right now. You fired.
Well,
I hope everybody paid attention to this brother that died I shouldn't say died, had a major heart attack on a football field the other day.
Yeah.
You know, you can believe what you want to believe, but I've been watching football since I was a little boy. I haven't been watching the last few years, but I saw the news article and the videos about him today. I mean, I'm looking at these brothers that are on this show with me right now. I know that none of us have ever heard of any 25-year-old young man having a heart attack on the football field.
Right.
Some strange situations here and there, like a couple of Len Bias and the other guy out in California who had heart attacks on the basketball court, but they had abnormal hearts. This young man didn't have any problems. If you don't believe that that's associated with this vaccine, then you need to do a little more research. But at the end of the day, the point that I'm making is that these people will push you and they'll push their ideas.
Yes,
and
sir.
They have an agenda.
Yes, sir.
People are getting paid to have 70 and 80% of their clientele vaccinated.
That's right.
Big checks. And you walk in their office and some of you are not strong enough
Come on, man.
to push back. I'm just telling you the reality of life.
Come on now.
I know people and members of the Nation of Islam.
Yeah.
They heard the minister give that damn instruction, and they got the shot anyway. Why?
Yes, sir.
Because some damn doctor talked them into thinking
That's
that
right.
they knew more than the minister.
That's right.
That's some stupidity right there. I don't give a damn who don't like that statement. But at the end of the day, my point is, those of you who need physicians, it is a reality if you're not taking care of yourself based on what the best doctor said. But you have to be careful going into these offices, because it'll be somebody looking just like you that has no damn concern about you, because their paycheck and where they live and where their children go to school and what kind of vacations they want to take, what kind of car they drive is more important than your black behind. Believe it or not, I'm telling you the reality of being a physician and knowing what I'm talking about 100%. It's a wicked system. It don't matter if they look like you or not.
Yes,
sir.
It's
worse if they don't look like you.
Yeah. We're about to close out. I mean, because we want to bring him back.
Okay.
But I want you, Dr. Akil, if you would, because you do your how-to seminars, and your focus is to educate and improve the mental, emotional, and physical health. And you say here that I keep losing it. Evaluating the whole body is what's needed. So going forward now, we got brothers and sisters listening, going forward. And in your closing remarks, if you will, what should we do to start our year off right for improving our mental, emotional, physical health? And then we must evaluate the whole body, in order to determine our holistic health. Can you give us some instructions?
Well, I would say the most effective thing that I could tell everybody that's listening, if I was you, I would go to Prime Video and watch a documentary called Heal, Heal. After you finish that documentary, I would go to my site, blackstream.live/TUWG, and watch my critique of that documentary. And after you finish doing those two things, if you will, look in the mirror and stop lying to yourself.
Come on, man.
If your belly is hanging over your belt, if your knees hurt, if you have headaches, if you have medical problems that you've been having for years, and you keep telling yourself this lie at the beginning of every year and things don't change, your biggest problem is here. And until you start addressing what's here, you're going to keep doing the same thing and getting the same results, talking about change, getting the same results because you don't change. That's insanity. So here's my reality, that everybody needs to stop living a subconscious reality. What do you mean by that, Brother Keely? Many of us have gotten in the car, drive to work, go the same way every time. Sometimes you get to work like, damn, I don't even remember getting here. That's a subconscious reality. Some of us get up in the morning, roll over on the same side of the bed, brush your teeth first, take your shower, put on your lotion, get dressed, put on your makeup for sisters, go down and get your coffee, get the same, walk out the same way, same radio station, same drive path. If you're living a subconscious life, you will never change anything. So start changing up things. Wake up in the morning one day, wash your face and go pray. Then take your shower, then brush your teeth. Next day, brush your teeth first, wash up, say your prayer, and then take your shower. Next day, take your shower first. Start switching everything up. Go make your coffee first, then come back and wash your face and pray. That's how you get yourself out of a subconscious life where you don't even realize what the hell is going on in your life because you do so much in a subconscious reality. But when you just do the small things like that, you will realize that everything is going to start changing because, wow, you're paying attention now. So instead of going the same way to work every day, pull out the driveway of your house. You typically go right, go left tomorrow. I mean, when you get to the job, go past it, go around, come back. Just do something different every day with every activity that you have. Don't go to the same damn restaurant for lunch every day. Shouldn't even be eating lunch if you're an adult. Same place for dinner. Switch it up. Start looking for some new places, some more healthy places. Start cooking at home. Watch some cooking shows. Go on YouTube and get a new recipe. Mess up a couple times. So what? Get your life into a conscious perspective, and then you will literally watch things change, and then you'll be better able to make change. But as long as we keep doing the same old thing every year, expecting something different, the lie starts to become regular reality. And that's when you're in trouble. That's my suggestion.
Absolutely, Doc. Well, we thank you, Doc, for that suggestion. We thank Doc for those instructions, man. We thank you for your spirit. We thank you for your knowledge. We thank you for your and just being you, brother. And we definitely want you to come back as you are a regular contributor to the Jock Brothers podcast and Jock Brothers audience and Jock Nation. I'm pretty sure, like myself, you enjoyed every bit of what we heard today. And definitely you want to go to his website. Go to his website. Can we get the engineer to put, I don't know what's up with this engineer. He's moving a little slow. He might got a headache, Doc. You spoke about the headache. You know, he might have a headache. Okay, there we go. Yeah.
If anybody was offended, if anybody was offended at what I said or how I said it, I apologize if I offended you. I really do have
don't apologize on the Jock Brothers no
sincere
more,
passion to help Black people with their health. And so that's the spirit that comes up out of me. So
You doing final words?
Yeah, we're gonna do final word, but we don't apologize on the Jock Brothers no more, Doc. No,
I don't apologize for a damn thing. I don't apologize.
We heard your feelings. You just got to deal with it. I'm telling you got to deal with that, man, because that was real. That was straight knowledge. But thank you, brother. Brother Doc. All right, brother Ahmed. Final word, sir.
Hey, can I say something real quick?
Oh yes, sir.
Oh, there we go. Blackstream.live/TUWG, y'all. When I leave here, I'm going to do my show tonight, and that's what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk specifically about each one of those documentaries and why I am for sure that How to Eat to Live is being studied, but that all these people are deviating from what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says in this book. And so there's nothing better.
You said OMAD. That's their little code they use now.
Yeah.
1 meal a day.
That's popular on social media. OMAD.
OMAD.
OMAD or intermittent fasting. That's the words that they use, and they're really
yes, sir.
They're really copying us. So there's no period before TUWG for anybody that's going. Yes, sir.
Don't worry. The engineer, we working with him. We working with him, Doc. It's New Year though. New Year, new me. All right, we gonna get it right, brother Doc. All right, go ahead, brother Ahmed. Your final words, sir.
Thank you, brother Dr. Achille, for coming on. You know, we man, you help a lot, even if it's impact right now, because a lot of people, like you said, there's New Year's resolutions, they fade away, but we want to keep impacting them with this straight up in your face reality of your health. And people talking about generational wealth, we talk about generational health. You know, I mean, let's get it on, man, because we're losing generations. These young brothers and sisters, this drug generation, you know, it's rampant. It's taking over. Either it be guns or drugs, or we're losing them, man. We're losing them, and health is not on the table. Nobody's talking about it. They're not singing about it. They're not rapping about it.
Come on,
nothing.
man.
I'm telling you, it's out the window. So thank you for coming on, and thank you for inspiring us and giving us this first boost in the beginning of the year.
Praise to Allah. Thank you, bro.
Praise be to Allah, brother Kawi.
Yes, sir, Dr. Achille. Man, this podcast, this show was dope. It was just what I needed, man. You was talking to me a couple of times now. I know I got your apology, but
you offended the host.
Yeah, man.
They gonna have me back no more. They gonna have me back no more.
Oh man, he ain't gonna come back.
But no, man, I really appreciate it. I know a lot of people got something out of this. That's the purpose of why. This is the reason why I wanted you on the show so bad. I mean, I can't think of a person that could talk this subject as strong as you.
Yes,
sir. Strong. But it's other subjects I want to touch on, how to eat to live. I just pray that we can get you and other, experts or people that can talk these various subjects really, really well to keep coming back to the job, brother, because when we intend to save people inside and out through podcasts, and I know you're trying to do the same thing. So in that regard, man, we're more than just brothers in faith, man. We are brothers in work. We're brothers in this battlefield. And I absolutely love you in the way, in the spirit in which you give out your message, well, not your message, but the message of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, sir, as taught and demonstrated by our minister Farrakhan. Keep doing what you're doing, brother. I can't wait for you to come back again, brother.
I'd love to, bro. And guess what? If it wasn't for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I'd be suggesting y'all get a vaccine.
Yeah. Well,
so I can't take no credit for it, bro. Got to give it to them.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, look, Jock Nation, we thank you all for tuning in once again. We thank you all for the support, the love that you're showing, and we even thank our critics. We thank you for critiquing us. We thank you for talking bad about us. Keep talking bad about us. I mean that you're still getting the word out for us. Though. But praise be to Allah. Everybody got a job to do. The Jock Nation, Jock Brothers, we trying to do our job. Dr. Achille, go and support our brother. He has his own podcast. Go and support. Go to his website. You can get all his information. Send your questions to him. Let's get healthy. Let's get healthy. All right, so that's it from me. May Allah continue to bless you all. And as the minister told us, may the peace and blessings of God be upon you and your families for the new year. Thank you, Jock Nation. Another.